So is there any more that you can tell us about the children's game that you're working on?
Well, it is about bees and butterflies and flowers and pollination, basically. It started out as an idea to create a educational game that actually demonstrated pollination. And it is actually a flicking game for kids. I felt like, kids love flicking. I love flicking. Sure. It's actually kind of a flicking and pick up and deliver game where you're actually moving your butterflies around from flower to flower, picking up pollen, moving it around to other flowers. It's pretty fun.
Wow, that's definitely an interesting concept. And do you have any kind of timelines or like what stage is the game in?
For the children's game, I've got cover art finished. I'm doing pretty much all the art myself. Well, I'm doing all the art myself. So the butterflies, the flowers, and the cover art are all done. Still hammering out some of the basic, some of the rules. I'm trying to get everything very, very streamlined. It's like playtesting with kids, and designing a kids game is really radically different from designing a hobby game. It's very, very different. You want to capture all the things you want to capture all the elements of a good game in a children's game, but you're designing for somebody you're not designing for yourself, you're designing for a child. And so it's different. It takes a different mindset. You really have to. We talk about picking a target audience. I mean, it's like when you say, okay, I'm going to design a game, I'm going to pick a target audience. What am I going to pick? Okay, I'm going to pick people in their 30s, mostly guys who like sci-fi. Okay, that's an easy target audience to go for. Picking a kid,
it's tapping into this whole audience that you've got to learn what that audience is. What are their drivers? What are their desires? What do they get excited about?
Well, that and the core elements of a game. Okay, so games, you want to create things like flow in a game where basically one action leads into another action, which leads into another action, and that creates a sense of accomplishment. And it also gets you really into the game. When you're experiencing flow, you're basically not experiencing the passage of time anymore. You're basically in this zone where you're just totally focused on the game, and that comes from basically creating goals, micro goals that can be attained. Basically completed by the player. It's clear. It's within their within their capabilities. It can't be too easy, can't be too hard. It has to be right, just right, and it has to have immediate feedback. Basically, you have to know exactly, how well you did, and when you finish it. That's pretty easy to do with an adult game. It gets more challenging to do in a children's game because you have to limit yourself to the number of systems, components. You're really using one mechanic in a children's game, usually. I guess you can use more, but I think most good children's games use one mechanic, but
you have to use it very well.
You want a mechanic that's going to have interesting dynamics, but still be really simple and really easy to grasp. You want to be able to teach a child's game in 30 seconds.
Right. Yep, that definitely sounds like a challenging proposition.
I think it's actually harder in some respects. I really do.
So, in your game development like your personal development in designing games, what have been some key drivers, any mentors that you would like to mention, any major influences in how you got to where you are today?
Having a group of friends who are also game designers, that's really important. Playing a lot of games is really important. Reading a lot of game articles, books. There's not too many really good board game design books. There's one really great book about games, but it's not actually about designing games. Can I mention that?
Oh yeah, I mean, if you have a reference material that you can offer.
Book that I just read recently that just kind of really blew my mind and just really opened me up in a lot of ways. It was called Reality is Broken. And it's really talking about video games, but a lot of the principles I think can really be used in board game design. Because really what it's talking about is how video games use certain mechanics, certain devices to make us happy, to produce feelings of happiness, what they call pro-emotions. And I think that, those same, systems can be applied to board game design.
All right.
So it's a great book. It's really good.
So it seems like you definitely do your research, and this is a very passionate hobby of yours that you enjoy doing.
Yeah, no, I mean, I love game design. I really do. It's it's something that I can't really turn off. I just kind of always thinking about games, always thinking about systems.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Ian, and definitely good luck with your endeavors, and appreciate your time.
Oh, thanks. Thanks for having me.